Wait. That's better. Am I starting this? I actually wasn't planning on starting this. I probably should mute my phone and do other things. So, KRK contacts me and says, hey, we're KRK. And I'm like, I know you guys. You guys, the yellow cones. Yeah, no one likes your stuff. And I'm like, I don't say that to them. But I know the buzz around KRK. And I keep that balled up inside me. And what I do is I talk to him. He says, okay, I'm going to give you we have a new line. I forget what I think it's the G4. I did the G3. I did which one was it? Was it a 6? It wasn't a tiny one. It was like a 6, a G3, 6-inch. So they offered me either the 4-inch, the 4-inch, the 6-inch, or the 8-inch. And I said, screw it, I'm going with the meme. I'm going to assume KRK is still KRK, and I'm going to get their biggest, baddest ones. And actually I didn't, because they offered me the 8s, and there's a 10-inch with 3-way called the RP10 3 G4. I'm sorry if this is so high, but it's just as you can kind of tell, they're big. And the reason that I had to do the video and then start the video, I wish I would have done that little bit from the beginning, because these speakers on a desk are a pain in the ass to get to sound proper. And it's just got to do with that tweeter and finding center image. Because usually what I do is I put a speaker right side up on the desk, and you either tilt it, and that's fine, and then you get like a little arc, and you get vocals there. And usually, sometimes I'll put the speaker stands, and the speakers go up, and then the sound is up there, and I have to turn them upside down, and then the sound levels out. So with these speakers, I first tried them on these Ion Forge stands, which I had that headphone stand, the Ion Forge. These are expensive Australian stands the guy sent to me, and I'm using them today because they have that tilt adjustment, which I demonstrated a minute ago. So you just take them. They actually came with a tool. I don't know where my tool is, and you crank it back, boom, and adjust it and tighten it. It's great. Could also do height adjustment. I tried them on these right side up, which put the tweeter a little bit above my ear level, like a little bit above. It was like, if this is ear level, that's where the tweeter was, with my seat all the way up. And the vocals were coming from the Porsche cluster, which is way up there. And I'm like, well, that's not gonna fucking work. So I think these speaker stands, as low as the speaker stands can go, so they don't work. So let's try flipping the whole thing upside down. Usually fixes the problem. Brings the tweeter from up there to down there, and then even though it's lower than my ear level, you still get this like nice upward arc, putting this centered image to the front of you. Emotiva was singing. So either singing up there or singing down there. So right before the very, very start of this video, I had the 2 foam blocks instead of the speaker stands. These are bigger than like the headphones foam blocks. These are, I think, 8 by 12 by 2s. And they're sold individually, and I have a stack of them because I'm Zeos and I need to. That's a write-off. And I put 2 of those down and put the speakers up, and it wasn't bad. It got the tweeter in the right height. I lowered my seat a little bit. We're good. But JD Watt was like, why don't you turn them sideways? And you know, the thing is, speakers like this, these have like a nice, beautiful foam pad on the bottom installed. The bass port, which is big enough to store your cookbook in, it would be like on the, I wanted it to be sort of normal. But you experiment, and then this is the way they gotta be. Because these speakers are better than I thought they'd be, but different. These are a reaction speaker. I'm not sure it's just because it's the 8-inch, but what I figured out is the thing people say about KRK speakers is they're just all bass, they got no treble, they're party speakers. They're basically Serwin Vega of powered monitors. And I think KRK heard that and then made the G4 line. Because when I first got these out, they were set up Actually, what video was that? The MTM videos? It was the MTM iLoud video. I walk into my kitchen and you see these hooked up to that $6,000 Audio Valve Solaris DAC. And it's like, I was trying to assess them in there, just like randomly in my kitchen. Not the best acoustics, but just want to hear them, make sure they work. And the very first thing I said was, oh God, the treble. And the very second thing I said was, where's the bass? So I think KRK heard everyone complaining about them being just bass monsters with no detail. And then went, all right, bass down, treble up. And here we are. Now here's the thing. I've burned them in now. I've broken them in. I believe in break in on a speaker because it's a physical moving thing. And it's got to move. That tweeter, you never can see it moving. It's moving a half a millimeter at most at its maximum excursion. So if you can change the physical properties of something that's moving such a small, minute amount to move 8% faster, that's a change in sound. And the same thing with the drivers. And the treble has calmed down. I had to, when I first hooked these up, take the EQ and go bass boost, treble drop to even listen to them. Then I set them up in my living room, which we're going to talk about because, frankly, I think that's the best spot for these, is not here on a desk. It's in a large room, just running powered monitors for shits and giggles. But when I moved into my living room space, I then went flat again, and it was good. Still lacking in bass a bit. The bass didn't, even with this port, these are not bass monsters. They've gotten away from that stigma. My issue with these is the tweeter, because it doesn't look special. It's pushable. It's pushable. I just want to press this bright yellow button. Can I press it? Can I just press it? Can I just... If you have children or dogs or young adults or anyone who likes to push buttons, I want to push the bright yellow button. It doesn't come with covers, obviously. These are studio monitors. These are supposed to be reference monitors. You're supposed to mix and master on these. And the only position that I found that I like them in is horizontal on a desk here with a slight angle up. I mean, you could probably raise it and then level it off again, but whatever was happening with that, like, weird, the way that, you know, that's pushing out frequencies and that's pushing out frequencies, and when you stand it vertical, that's fine for perspective left and right, but it's throwing this weird high arc or low arc. Everything's got to be in line. Same thing with the RB42X. This might be my new thing. Zeos is the guy that turns speakers up and down. No. Now Zeos is the guy that turns speakers on their side. And it works here because unlike a JBL, like a JBL 305 or 705 or whatever that new expensive one is, the waveguide is designed for horizontal throw. This is just a circle. So you could turn this 360 degrees around and it would still be fine. So I'm telling you all, this is how we're going down. They're rather large. I think if I sit back far enough, you guys can sort of grasp the concept of large. I'm going to pull one down in a second. We might actually take half of this review, put it in my living room, but I think I can get it all done now. If what I'm hearing, and oh, by the way, I'm using the new SMSL M500 DAC / remote control preamp to control them all, and that's a killer one that does 786, 768, and MQAs, everything else. So I know it's good. These lack the magic. They're a pain to hook up. Like, they're a pain to get positioned right, especially on a desk. This is a 4-foot desk. I have it extending out onto the other half a foot over there, and then they're sticking out past it even further than that. And you sort of just sit there in front of them and you go, why did I buy these? No, I didn't buy these. The company sent them to me. And I always try to be nice. I try to be nice. I'm not looking to burn any bridges. But you send me a product, I'm going to assess it. And if I can't find the all-spark that makes your product worth it over everything else, then I'm going to wave my fingers around until I figure it out. They do have a full digital controller in the back. We'll pull this down in a bit. In just a bit, we'll pull it down and we'll look at the back. I'm still trying to assess, because there's 600 for the pair, 300 each, which is not terrible for a powered monitor, but I'm pretty sure you can get a JBL for a little, like right around there. maybe a little more, maybe a little less. You could certainly get that. I think Mackie makes that 8-inch. I love my Mackie MR624. Hi, baby. You should take those down. Those don't get enough play. But we talk about the Mackie, and we talk about the JBL. The first thing I think about is the tweeter design. That's a very deep cone. But look at those JBLs with that. That's the center coaxial, the boot carts. I don't think this can pull off any hat tricks. I think this is just a tweeter. It's a pretty refined one, but it's not like, I don't feel like I should be mastering on this particular set of speakers. I've got them here. They finally sound good. We've got good imaging across the spans. We don't have any weird ups and downs. I have them set to flat. I don't have the measurement mics to fix what's going on. I've listened to them in like 4 different spots at this point. And yes, you can use the... All right, let's just take the backs out. Hold on. Oh, I gotta mute this. John Carpenter's playing. It doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound bad, but it doesn't sound like... I've sat here in front of like the Atom T5Vs, which are not an expensive set, or the Atom T7Vs, which is ones I really should focus on. Because I said the Atom T5Vs were exciting. Those, right there, I kept them. Those are an exciting, depthy speaker that throws a little bit more low end. And the T7Vs were the more adult, woke, ready to work, flat, neutral. I felt comfortable saying you could mix on these. And I'm not getting that from this set. I feel like they're a powered monitor. I feel like they're doing their job as a powered monitor. They make sound as a powered monitor. I would lump these in with like an edifier. I don't tell anyone to mix on edifiers except for the S3000 Pros when you put them on, what was that setting that was like fully neutral. I felt like those got into this weird like face mode of like, we are now ready to work. And these are always just a little bit more fun is going on. A little less concern for details. But they're still not throwing the low end. Not here. In my living room, you unlock the low end on the back with the EQ, you get away with that. It's so crowded. Usually a big speaker, what I was finding out with the big speakers, especially like the Atom T7Vs, was when you played very dense music, and that's got like, I've seen this guy, this is the Berserk soundtrack, and the guy who did this performs live, and he's got this giant wheel he spins. And I think that keeps tempo with like one of his computers. It's very fucking weird. But there's so many sounds happening right here. And I can't tell any of them apart. Maybe not the greatest recording in the world, but I've heard this song 500 times. And I know that Berserk Force's TV version is hard, and this is having a hard time separating everything. I'm gonna pull this one down now. One more chance. One more chance. One more chance. Bach. Can you do Bach? And it's still like, give me. I'm going to shut the power off. Unplug. Actually, I need the power on, don't I? Don't I? Damn it. To show this thing off. Alright, here's what I do. I'm going to unplug that power cord. Flip this around. I'm trying not to land it on its drivers. Then I'm going to pull out this power cord, which is specifically for reviewing on the desk. Please don't get unplugged from the wall. It would ruin my day. I'm going to do that. KRK Systems, it pops on. High resolution DSP room tuning. Tuning, not calibration. So here's your menu. I hope you all can see it. Here's the back. You literally get balance input, 1/4 inch. You got to buy adapters if you want to go RCA. It's KRK Rokit 8. Bi-amplified near-field monitoring system designed and engineered in the USA. Made in China, because that's where everything's made. So you get this nice digital selection wheel. I actually do like the feel of it. and it goes click, 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 and you can see, press the knob to access menu, volume, had them both at 0. So you can scroll wheel this down in half decibel. Actually, wait, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. That's 1/10 of a decibel increments. So if you do measurements, if you measure your speakers, how far away they are perfectly, and there's still a channel imbalance, you can adjust to 1/10 of a decibel. When you're going fast, it looks like it's only showing 5. And then you go up, I think once you go past, it'll go up plus 11, and then down very, very fucking slowly. Very, very, very slowly. So let's put it back to 0. Jesus, this is forever. Let's get into the menu. Menu, EQ, setup, and back. Can you figure what back does? Yeah, I thought so. So EQ. Now this is where we get 2 options. Normal powered monitors, they just give you a switch. Lows up or down, highs up or down, the end. So this gives you low EQ. And you get, instead of 3 positions, you get 5 positions. So flat's what it's currently on. You can do a low frequency shelf, negative 3 decibels at 60 hertz, or low frequency shelf, negative 2 decibels at 60 hertz, and a parametric equalizer of negative 2 at 200 hertz. That's to fix a real weird room node. Then you get a parametric EQ on the lows with minus 2 and 200 hertz only. And then you get a low shelf of plus 2, 60 hertz. So there's one option here that raises the low frequencies, which makes it look like that. Shows the little graph, looks the little graph. Now you can't, it's weird because you can't custom adjust this. So that's it. You can go there and it'll show you what it's doing. Bump down and down. So if you're taking the bass out of it, will obviously, that's more room correction style. I would kind of like to add bass. So let's do that. Now high EQ. Now the high EQ has the same thing, 5 selections, and you click them on and it shows you each individual thing and what it's doing. Basically the exact same shape adjustments. There, you can do full V-shaped. That's what V-shaped looks like. I'm gonna set it, I don't want to set that. You know what? I don't want to turn it down though. I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna try to resurrect the KRK-ness of these. So let's put that back and now go to setup. So the backlight of this display you could adjust. That's in 1% increments in case you need to lower it all the way down to 1%, but that's too dark, so 2% is where you actually want to be. This would be fine with like a low, medium, and high, but it's got infinite adjustability all the way. 100 steps of brightness. Also 100 steps of contrast for this screen. That's more steps than my phone has on it. Auto standby, which I have currently on, and this speaker will sleep at night. If you give it, I don't know, actually, is it 8, 10, 20 minutes? This KRK logo that's glowing, that is lit up in the front, and it's a piece of acrylic, which is really nice. We'll just start slowly pulsating off and on. And hopefully both of them do it at the same time, or else you have one doing it and the other one's coming back and it's just like, I want to punch somebody. But you can set that to standby, so that's good. You don't want these things running all night. You could also set that logo to off if you just don't want that thing lit up, which I can respect. Using these in my living room, I left them on, but I would have probably shut them off if I use it for longer than that. You can set a lock. It tells you the version number of the firmware, which is 7.7. That's it. So now I've got that weird setting set. Let's see. Let's put this back here. I'm gonna shut it off. Oh, thank you, wire, for reaching. Oh, I think I ruined its day. Let's put you back up. And you could try this with the tweeters on the outside as well. Oh, here is the Ion Forge stand with the removable silicone floppy top. Expensive. And I got them in red and blue specifically. And I could run the wire through the little holder, but I'm not gonna. Plug that in. Where's that power cord? Pesky power cords. Now, doing this one's gonna be less fun. Oh, gods. Oh, my gourds. Okay, hold on, everybody. I'm doing a thing. Low EQ. I want more bass, and I want more highs. Okay. Actually, that wasn't bad. Did I move it? Nope, because there's a big dent in the table, because these fucking things are heavy. So now, I've shown you what they've got. Did I damage that from just... I hope not. They are made of like a resilient-ish plastic. That's more solid than that. That's just a plastic fascia. But now, that's better. So you do need to adjust. And I was playing with that in the other room, and I was playing with it here, and then I had them right side up, and it wasn't really doing it for me anyway. So now that I've got them, did my adjustment? My angularity failed. Hold on. Undo. Tilt back. Check my angles. Yeah, good. Truck driving by. Oh, that was stuck in the thing and fell out. No matter what I do to these, they don't hit me as blow me away for $600 speakers. They're big powered monitors. You could adjust the back. They're kind of good looking. I don't know. The tweeter throws me off a little bit. I don't hate the look of it. I want to press it. And KRKs of the past always had like a black tweeter, and it was just that. That was the thing. And I know we're not here to judge on looks. You're here to ask me if they sound good enough to own, and it's a toss-up. These are better in a living room than they are on a desk. I feel like, just like that's, by the way, Yang, by the way. I feel like Yang here, who's wearing that muzzle, and she's like restricted. A, that's hot. B, that's what these feel like on a desk. Like, I'm playing music, and I'm like, okay, play it quiet. Play it quiet. It's Bach. You don't want to play it loud, but then you want to kind of play it loud. You want to keep turning this knob, and then you want to turn it, and then it hits you. Then the sound hits you, and you die. So what you want to do is you want to not hook these up in a desk. You want to hook these up in a room. It still works for the college kids. If you have a room, you're going to have parties in it, you can still buy KRK monitors. These will pump SPL at you all day. Day. And if you tweak the bass, and I've now got the bass tweaked, they just need a little bump. KRK got afraid of their reputation. They tried to fix it. And I think it... Even if you gotta sometimes run with your rep. My reputation is I use anime girl backgrounds and I curse a lot, and I use a headcam that sometimes makes people ill. But that's who I am. When people complain, I don't think, oh wow, I really should mount the camera to a tripod, and then I should clean up my potty mouth, and then I should use just the background of the product picture. Fuck no. Fuck no. You stick with what you're known for, even if what you're known for isn't the greatest thing on the earth. KRKs aren't the greatest stereo speaker monitors ever. They're the most popular. They literally say the thing. They're one of the more popular ones because they're cheap and they look exciting. But as a person who listens to speaker all day, I listen to speaker all day. I could sit here and just go, They tried. They tried to recorrect what they were getting complaints about. The problem is, that's why they're the most popular speaker brand. Because they're bass monsters and people aren't really mastering on them anyway. They're just putting them in their dorm rooms. So, I'm pleased to announce, if you get these, you can still put them in your dorm room. You can still adjust the bass on the back of it and get those... I don't think anyone grasps the concept of how big this port is. I was going to try to find a book to just pull out of it. Hello? You can get these to work the way KRK monitors are supposed to work. fun-ass party speakers. And when you shut off all those things and they try to be fun, they're trying to compete in a thing that they really, unfortunately, can't. That tweeter they'd need so much more tech going into it. Either room correction like the iLouds do, or some, AMT ribbon tweeter, try to get something out of it. I want to give these a good review. I like when companies send me things that I want to find that thing and I want to sell their product. That's my little kink. It's like, oh, they sent me this thing. Here's a tick. Send me those headphones. And they're not the greatest headphones in the earth, but they have that niche. And I try to find that niche and milk its nichiness. And these are just, you're in the wrong game. Stop being studio monitors and just give me Bluetooth hookup. Make it hook up to one side. Give me Bluetooth. Make this edifiers competition. Because then it doesn't matter if they sound good enough to mix music on. They sound good enough to listen to music on. And that's what this is about. Because now I'm like, oh yeah, KRKs. Rokits? Oh, you just want to listen to music? KRKs are fine. If you really want to analyze music and you want to take it to the next level with depth and neutrality, then you got to up your game. Or just switch channels a bit. So that's it. That's my review of these KRKs. I've had them in my living room now for 2 weeks solid. You've watched any of my live streams on Twitch, you know that that's what I've been doing. And I have zero issue with them in there. They're plopped upside down on top of my ohms, and I have them turned up. Even on flat, I'm impressed by them. Impressed. Like, not upset that they're there. I will put a speaker in that room sometimes and I'll be like, I just want my ohms back. And these didn't do that. Now on this desk, if you said I could have these or the slightly more expensive MTM iLouds, give me the iLouds, even with their faults. They're like the greatest thing I've ever listened to on a desk. RB42s are these. RB42s. Because for their size, and I think RB42s might throw more impression of low end with a 4-inch driver than these do. Again, you put them up and you sort of get that bigness, but it ain't the same. So that's my review. I'm done with this. I'm going to give this its own full review. I've got to try out the headphone section still. These stands, they're expensive, but you could put a 35-pound monitor on it and then adjust the angle and lock it in place, and then the height goes up like 6 inches. So they'll be in future reviews also, along with the sound rise. I just needed these because they're lower than the sound rise and can angle. That's it. That wallpaper in the description. She's also available on Patreon. For anyone who's a $2 patron or higher, you get access to every wallpaper I've ever used. I feel like that's going to be a big draw to my Patreon. $5 tier. Get to see these reviews early. Review like this, you're not going to sell out the stock of KRK, but if it's something that's very special, very unique, that I love, and you can see it a week before the whole rest of the world, there's a good chance it won't be out of stock. You also get to participate in the yard sales, where I believe KRK has given me these because it makes sense for them to ship them back and have a used set with scratches on it. This will be in a yard sale from the 1st to the 10th of every month. I sell things that have been sent to me or that I've purchased or that, just are lying around, and you pay whatever you want. No minimum order, no minimum bid a strange number. Continental United States, I ship for free. Internationally, you pay half shipping. That's it. That's my spiel.